I always forget. All right, let me start over. Hey, this is PURPLEXEDQT, and welcome to my channel. Just got to put a disclaimer on every video. I may mess up a word, I may mess up a name, I may say something and then retract it. So just want to put that disclaimer out there. And how you guys doing tonight? And welcome Bonnie and Pam and Capone and Kathy and Leo's wife and Steph and Pixie Dust and Blue Eyes and Jeremy. Jeremy, I haven't seen you in a long time. What's up, Truth? What's up, Susie Q? Hey, Laura. Hey, Red Dragon. Hey, Gina. Hey, Honey Bunches. Hey, Galway Girl. Hey, Irene. Hey, Carrie. Hey, Puss in Boots. Hey, Susie Q. Hey, Carol. Hey, Leo's wife. I think I got some of you guys twice. I am like super tired. I had like 20 minutes of sleep last night. Hey, Cinnamon. I'm doing great. I'm just tired. Hey, EDM. Did the judge muzzle her? I'm telling you, some of you guys are not going to like my verdict. Hey, Aunt Jane. Aunt Jane will like my verdict. But hey, Jen, but there's a lot more than what meets the eye. So I went through a lot of stuff. I skimmed through day 7 because a lot of it was like the lawyers are just sitting there doing nothing. So hey, Rayanne. So I watched the most important parts, which were the people on trial. So I'm going to give it a little minute. I'm going to give it a couple minutes because I don't like start like immediately. Let people come in so I don't have to repeat stuff. Wish everybody was be friendly. I do not want to see meanies. No meanies. So I do want to tell you guys that I don't want to say too much, but let's just say what I said I was going to do the other day has been completed. And obviously nothing's going to happen overnight, but it will take a little time, but it's done. So I think you guys know what I mean by that. What's up, Robin? Hey, old Blue Eyes. Hey, Marty. Yep. Steph knows. Hey, Winky. Hey, Ran. Yeah, if you know what I'm talking about, then yes. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you'll find out. Hey, Stephanie. The thing. Hey, Galway Girl. Whatever it is, I'm glad. Oh, EDM, you know what it is. You're right. Unfortunately, it must be done. So, and it will be done. It just takes a little time. You forgot, Capone. How do you forget? You didn't forget. Hey, Supercell. So, Save Robbie went like 6 hours today. I couldn't sleep. So, I ended up doing the 911, 9/11 video. Hey, Mind Blown. Hey, Wild Irish. And then it was like 4 o'clock in the morning. It took me like 2 hours. So then I went to Mallory's live. Then I went to Save Robbie's live. And then when halfway through work, Save Robbie's live is still going on. Yeah, it's done already. Screenshot that, bitches. I agree, Galway Girl. Hey, Pop Trauma. Let's say Robbie Live is something else. I know. I couldn't believe he was still on like hours later. Hey, Susan. Hey, Sensible Crime. Hey, Little Deb. Welcome, new viewer. It's official, no minors were born before 9/11. What's up, Paris? Thoughts on this Republican-ass drama show? Nope, know nothing about it. Did not watch it. Don't want to watch it. Don't care. All I will say is what I said yesterday, and that and I'll speak for Hockey Mom and Ninny on this. Me, Hockey Mom, and Ninny were nothing but nice to her. I did an entire week-long autism special for her, and I can't help what she does. Thank you, Supercell. Yeah, my kids love Dennis. He was like They were absolutely in love with him. And he died about a couple of months after those pictures were taken. He just dropped dead one day in a shower. Gone. She says we're evil B words. You know what, Paris? I've never even spoken about her. Like, I don't think about her. People have asked me what happened to her. I didn't even realize, like, she was gone. Like, I just don't think about her. She was gone and she was gone. That was it. I harbor no ill feelings. I wish her the best of luck, and that's it. Let her say whatever she wants. Just a couple of years ago, LexisNexis employee. But LexisNexis is the database for lawyers. I don't get it. Just got back from my dedication 911. My husband was an honor guard. It was so sad, but others chose this night for drama. Yeah, especially being someone from New York. It was kind of weird that they chose tonight for drama, but that's who they are, so I can't help it. Has Echo messaged you, Laura? Who's Echo? Oh, I keep forgetting to add her back. Yes. She hasn't echoed me, but I have to add her back. And alright. I'm tired. So I kept some notes. I took some notes. So let's go ahead and get started. Sorry I look like shit. I'm tired. I literally had like 20 minutes of sleep. I've been like on a wing and a prayer all day. I cleaned, did their closets, and tomorrow I got to take Sage for shoes for a homecoming. I live near the Pennsylvania crash. Pennsylvania crash was actually taken down by the Air Force. That I know for a fact. Thank you, Amber Sue, but I don't. I look drained and tired. Jeremy, did you know the Clintons? Alright, so let's go ahead and get this party started. So I can go to bed. Yeah, shoe shopping sucks. Alright, so I went ahead and took some notes. Alright, so I think I caught the entire trial. I think, or at least I caught what Channel 7 had. So I don't know if it was the whole trial or not. I'm sure it wasn't the whole thing because it was only like 2 hours. The football's back, yes. When I get really tired, the football's back. All right, so they had on a medical examiner. And I'm sure I didn't see the first half. But they had on the medical examiner. Now, the medical examiner, this was for the defense. It was Mark Levon. He was an MD. So what he says, which is completely different than the other reports, he says that the skeletal remains showed no identifiable evidence of thermal injury. He said that the skeleton remains showed no identifiable evidence of violent traumatic injury. He said, due to the advanced state of decomposition and lack of soft tissue to examine, there's absolutely no identifiable evidence of live birth. That's major. And then also, because of the lack of identifiable violent injury and the lack of evidence of live birth, it is incorrect to state that this child died of hypothermia. Homicidal violence and undetermined. I can't even see. My eyes are not good enough to see. I think it says etiology. So, yeah, he couldn't say either way. But, you know, you have to remember our justice system is beyond a reasonable doubt. It can't be beyond a reasonable doubt. If anybody hangs her, they're going to hang her for emotion, not based on evidence. Because it's the one thing I seem to be fighting in every case that I do is the way they hold up the justice system. I've said this before. I'm going to preach it again. As we all know, hey, Butter Biscuit, as we know, hey, D, the the justice system is set up in a certain way. And that certain way is that it's supposed to be to prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. And if they're saying that they can't do that, then she should absolutely not be convicted at all whatsoever. Because remember, it's based on emotion. I mean, duh. That's how tired I am. It's based on evidence, not on emotion. And they absolutely cannot do this based on emotion, because it would be completely unfair. How do you share what video, Jeremy? So now here's the other thing, though. The doctor believes that the child was born dead based on the evidence, because there's no fractures, there's no anything. Now, what I didn't like, and this bothers me too, and this was for the defense. I didn't know that. I thought it was for the prosecution that was asking these questions, because the guy asked him if he'd got the interrogation tapes, if he watched her during the interrogation tapes. He's a doctor. He can't determine interrogation tapes. Like, I thought that was a little odd and a little out of his realm. The skull had 4 fractures. The skull did not have 4 fractures. Unless I'm missing something. Because this said the skeletal remains showed no identifiable evidence of violent traumatic injury. So how did it have 4 skull fractures? And Polka Dot, I saw you in there. Okay. So all right, Polka Dot, then where are you getting this information? Because this doctor said there's no evidence of violent traumatic injury. No, skull did not. The skull was apart because the tissue was gone. Okay. No, it didn't, the doctor said. All right, so some people say doctor said one thing, some people say doctor said another. Remember, the plates aren't fused yet. That is correct. You are talking about the defense doctor. Yeah, the one I'm talking about now is the defense doctor. That's why babies have soft spots. It's not fused. That is correct, too. Doc said fractures for the prosecution. Okay, so now it's a matter of who you believe then. Do you believe the prosecution or do you believe the doctor? Tell me how 2 doctors can have the exact same thing, can look at the exact same bones, and one says something completely different than the other. That's pretty way differing opinion. So they really need a third reference. Skull is recovered in 4 pieces because a baby's skull is not completely fused for several months after birth. So as the membrane holding those bones together decomposed, it fell to 4 pieces. That's possible too. They did try to say the fracture came from the flower pot. Prosecutors jumped the gun. I believe that too, Farrah. After decomp, a baby's skull will fall apart. Okay. One doc said detached cord was sign of stillbirth. Okay. She said baby was alive for a few minutes, said gurgle, and moved her little arm. Okay, Carol, I saw a comment on that in the trial. They said that a baby doesn't gurgle. That another doctor said that a baby doesn't gurgle, and that was force-fed to her. So, like I said, I haven't watched the entire thing. I only watched, I guess, the second half. I know what you meant, Susie Q. So, I just felt like they're asking they're asking the doctor. Carol, that was coerced during the interrogation. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because babies don't gurgle. Prosecutors say homicidal death, defense say stillbirth. Yeah, that's a big difference. You cannot believe Skylar about the cord. She's a known liar. Why, do you know her personally? Baby can't gurgle, no air in lungs. It's exactly right. And that's what they were saying. That's what this guy in comments was saying, is that a baby can't gurgle because there's no air. All right. So they're asking a doctor that's not a gynecologist about spontaneous births. That's another thing I had a hard time with. But again, yeah, but Polka Dot, they say a lot of things. They also said that she tried to cremate the baby, and that wasn't true. Just because they say it doesn't make it true. Her own father says she lies. Okay, so maybe she does lie. But it still doesn't mean she killed her baby. So what I felt like, let me go back to this. So what I felt like was that, they're asking a doctor about spontaneous births. He's not a gynecologist. He studies bones. So I just kind of thought that was a little weird, because he's not a gynecologist. So prosecution asked her, waiting, diminish her ability to fully examine what happened to the baby. All right, now I can't even read my own fucking notes. So the prosecution asked if her waiting, 2 months to actually give them the baby or find the bones, did that diminish, the testing? So the doctor said, well, yeah, it happens in every, it would happen in every case. So my question, though, there's been many cases, I can't think of any off the top of my head, and I don't have that much time, but there's been many cases where you have they find bones that's 15 years old, and they can determine how the person died. So how come they can't do that in a baby that's only bones are a month old? And I found that a little odd, because like I said, I know there's been a lot of cases that they've been able to determine how this person died, and they found the bones 50 years later. So I kind of thought that was a little weird, that they're saying that, they really can't determine it. That to me also leads towards innocent, because if they're looking at the bones and they can't determine it, that means there wasn't any obvious signs. She didn't smash it against the wall. She didn't, there weren't charred bones. She didn't try to dismantle them. There were no cuts in them. Things like that. So if it's not, hey, Smile Bell. So if it's not something that was automatic and they couldn't determine it from the bones, tells me that she's most likely had a stillbirth, and that's how the baby died. Because there's nothing they can gather from the bones at all. There's nothing that they're looking at the bones and saying this is how she died, just like they would on a case, bones that are 20 years old. So that's also why it leads me to believe that she's innocent and that baby died of stillbirth. But they don't have. But either does a bone from 20 years. If they have a bone that's 20 years old, I mean, look it up. They'll find bones 50 years ago. From 50 years ago, these bones are 75 years old. We can tell that this person died from this, and this. There was no obvious signs. There was nothing in the bones showing how she died. So that tells me that it was most likely a stillbirth. I know I have to watch it from the beginning. Stated she never cut the cord, indicating all the delivered together. In my opinion, if the neonate were delivered live and this happened, it would be due to placental eruption. Okay. Who knows? It could be natural. Who knows? All right. So then this guy shows her house. It was pretty cool. Like he says that he just photographs and he puts like all these photographs together. Excuse me. It looks like really cool software. I was like, I want to get that. Put it on my computer. So what about if the baby was kept from taking his first breath? That's another story. So the only thing that I learned, I don't know what the point was of showing the house. Did you guys see the house and stuff? Yeah, closing arguments tomorrow. Did you guys see the house and stuff? I don't get the point of it, but one thing that I realized from the house, it was creepy. It was cold. There were like no pictures on the walls. It was like empty. It was a very cold feeling house, and I wasn't even there. But it was like when they took you around, one thing I noticed, there were no pictures. There was nothing to make it feel homey. And it was a big house, but it was nothing to make it feel homey. It was just empty. And, you know, when he took you through it, it was clean. But when even her room had nothing on the walls. How do you not have anything on your walls? And downstairs had nothing on the walls. Well, it was definitely clean. I mean, there's no doubt about that. It was spotless. But it just felt very cold. Like, for example, Cray Hughes is into now 3D modeling and stuff. And he showed me one night this house he was doing. And he was recreating a murder scene. And it was all animated. But he recreated the house exactly the way it looked that, you know, it looked in the video that he had. It felt much more homey than this house. And that was an animated house, like The Sims. It felt so much more homey than this house. I mean, it just gave you this weird feeling. Like this creepy, weird feeling. Hey, GB. Sky's room didn't look like a tube. It didn't, but either did the rest of the house. It was just strange. Erica was looking to adopt newborns or young children. Oh. I'll give you the link. Hold on. Once I finish this, I'll give you the link. So yeah, so that kind of like threw me off. Now, some of the comments that were in this stream, I really do want to address. Let me see if I have it. No, I think I closed it. Oh, wait, here it is. No, that's not it. That's me. Yeah, I don't have it. I'll pull it up. So one of the things is, someone wrote in the comments, if police told me I killed my child and I knew damn well I hadn't, I'm saying so and very loudly. What people don't realize, I think it was Channel 7. I watched it on YouTube. People do not realize how much police can get inside your head. It's so simple for an outsider to say, if I was interrogated, I would never crack. I would never admit something that I didn't do. Now, my personality, I can see me being like, fuck that. I will never admit something I didn't do, no matter what. But for anyone here that's in the drama community, how many of these people do you think it would take not much for a cop to get them to say what they wanted to say? They can get these other women to get them to say what they want to say. Imagine a cop trying to do it and, you know, accusing you of shit. So all these people that say, oh, I would never admit to something I didn't do, are like the same people that I see all around this drama community. And people that just jump on the bandwagon. People that never stand up for themselves. People that say, oh, I love you so much. And the next day, they're kissing ass of somebody that they fucking hate. And they're flip-flopping. That's what I'm talking about. Those people are pure crime, pure targets for cop interrogation. And they're the same ones that'll sit there on a panel, or sit there on a, on a screen, you know, hide behind a keyboard and say, I would never do that. I would never cave in. Blah, blah, blah. Yes, you would, because look how fucking easy we see it every day. You can go into any live and see it happen. And you guys know what I mean. Some people are not strong mentally and will do and say anything to get out of the situation and pressure they are facing at that moment. I absolutely agree with that. But I see it often. And it's kind of sad. So someone else said she is not a child and the baby was born alive with the baby gurgled. And then this other guy said babies can't gurgle. Said if you were paying attention, babies don't gurgle. Now, here's another interesting thing. from what I heard and from what I read, and anyone following the case more closely, tell me if this is true or not true. The max she's facing is 5 years in prison. That's it. That's all she's facing is 5 years. Like, that's the max she's going to get. Because if that's the case, it doesn't matter if she's guilty or innocent. Yeah, I don't know if it's true. I saw it like on a title that the max she's facing is 5 years in prison. So if anyone can confirm or deny that, let me know. Because I thought she was facing murder charge like 20 years to life. But Ohio may have specific laws on babies. But, I mean, if that's true and she's really only facing 5 years in prison, who gives a fuck? Lily Deb, I think she should walk. It's not involuntary manslaughter. They must have some kind of rule. To me, 5 years is about right. Yeah, but she could get... Yeah, but she's on house arrest. That's on... That goes towards your sentencing. Hey, Tanya! This trial's out my back door. I haven't missed... So, Tanya, why haven't you gone there? How come none of you guys have gone there that live there? My ass would have been right there every day. She's going to get something burying that baby and not telling anyone. That's why I think the max is 5 years. Guilty on tampering of corpse. All right, so let's look up what tampering of corpse is in Ohio. Tanya, you know that? Tanya, why don't you come up? Why don't you call in? 20 spectators in court. And we'll get there at like 3 in the morning, woman. So, guys, remember the other day I was telling you about the Christmas cookies that a friend of mine sent me, like, the best Christmas cookies in the entire universe? That's her, Tanya Henry. She's the one that sent me those amazing Christmas cookies. Tanya, you have to download Zoom. Go ahead and download Zoom on your phone or on your computer. And then I'll send you the number on Facebook. Just download Zoom. It takes 2 seconds. Laura, what do you think? I feel starting in high school, there needs to be a course of curriculum on knowing your rights. It's not a bad idea, GB. It's really not. The baby is born and is murdered, but they can't prove it's murdered. And, you know, some people are saying, I'm going to get to her looks. All right, let me get into her looks. So the reason why I made the cover photo the way I made it, she is so obvious anorexic. She has no life in her. I really feel bad for her. And I don't feel bad for whether she killed the baby or not with the baby, just because I know what that's like. And there's just no life in her at all. Her hair is really thinned out. I can't find one shot of her even smiling or even a half a smile. She is miserable. And it's really sad. In my opinion, not enough evidence to be. I agree. Aggravated murder, 20 to life. But I saw on the news that she faces max of 5 years in prison. But it's beyond sad. She's way anorexic. She wasn't right after the baby, but you could see her hair, the way she's jawed, her shoulders. Like, I had that, where you have, like, this bone right here is, like, sunk in. And it's really bad. And I saw it on her. I was like, wow. Can it be the baby was malnourished today? It's possible. She's on trial. She's stressed. Her mother is cold as ice. Image is more important. I could not believe her mom's first comment to her was, what will other people think? Anorexia does destroy brain cells. I just read she tried aggravated murder and involuntary manslaughter. Just all right. I'm just telling you. I just saw on a I saw it on a picture. One of the pictures that I took. It says Maxie faces 5 years. Let's see. Okay, question. I must have missed this part. So it says she has a personality disorder and she was sexually abused? I must have missed that. That was from 12 hours ago. I think Scarlett hates herself deep down for what she did, and she's starving herself. No, it's because she has... All right, understand something. Anorexia is about control. She is... It's all about control. This is the only control that she has in her life. When she was 12, a boyfriend. Oh, not by a dad or anything. Okay. Death result homicidal violence. Not according to the her doctor. You know, remember there's two sides to every story. It's just a matter of what you want to believe. Me too, Wild Irish. These witnesses were likely called to convince jurors Richardson could easily be manipulated. I wouldn't convict, but I wouldn't convict either. Missed all the part. No, I saw some of the prosecution case. I've been kind of like skimming through it. I told you I just got this case yesterday. Cut me a little slack, and I work. Oh, the dad testified? Oh. I'm waiting for Tanya. You can't skim through or listen to the woman doctor. Yeah, but you got to remember each... All right, let me put it like this. When you have one side of prosecution, then you have the defense. Very rarely will two medical doctors come up with two completely different stories. The defense may try to finagle it a little or try to ask questions that leave it open-ended, but the odds of a doctor blatantly lying and putting their name on it are kind of slim to none. So I really have a hard time believing that the doctor blatantly lied. Or either doctor blatantly lied. But when you have one doctor say that it's violent homicide and you have another doc say it's absolutely not violent homicide, what do? You bring in a third party. But that would mean that each lawyer would have to get another doctor and they could end up doing the same thing. We never know. But that's going to be what's interesting on appeal. Now, will they let another baby killer go? I don't know. It's anybody's guess. Absolutely anybody's guess if they're going to let another baby killer free because of Casey Anthony. However, circumstances are a little different where except for the jury, everybody knew Casey Anthony was guilty, except the jury. In this case, I I could not convict beyond a reasonable doubt at all whatsoever. I like Dr. Michael Baden. I agree, from HBO. Is because the newborn's decomposition would happen much more rapidly than an adult, hence cause of death unknown. Listen to the entire trial, they didn't prove the case. They can't prove the baby was alive. And Pam, I agree with you. That's the one case that I agree with you. But at the same time, you also have to understand, though, that Casey Anthony prosecutors did not actually win their case. And they couldn't prove beyond a reasonable doubt. And that jury did exactly what they were supposed to do. Exactly what they were supposed to do. And you always give the benefit of the doubt. I disagree. Laura, but it's not a benefit of the doubt. Tanya, did you get Zoom? It's not benefit of the doubt. There's facts. There's not enough to prove that that baby was alive. There's just not. She should not have buried the baby. That I agree with. But at the same time, if you have a baby and it dies, what do? You bury it. My verdict is innocent. You have to watch prosecution. But I watched some of the prosecution. But it doesn't matter. I know enough that one says one thing, the other one says the other thing. I know two different doctors from each side give totally different things. You bury a hamster, not your baby. Not necessarily. Some people bury their baby. Like I said, we all know she wasn't the brightest banana in the bunch. You don't bury a lawyer, you have to go to the hospital. You didn't hear what the ME said. No. If I'm on trial for serious crime, I want Laura to be my jury foreman. Hell yeah, because I'll be fair. Look, here's the bottom line. You want me to get really into it? Here's the bottom line. There was no attorney present when she was being questioned. It's already been proven that, and this is without hearing everything, but that's okay. I don't need to hear everything. Just based on this alone, the prosecutor, the police coerced her into saying stuff that's already been proven is not true. She did not have an attorney present. Her parents were not present the entire time. She's not the brightest banana in the bunch. The umbilical cord just snapping, I read, is so rare, so I have a hard time believing that. Did she make a mistake after the fact? Yes. Was she the brightest banana? No. Should she have handled it differently? Yes. Does she deserve life in prison because she's an idiot? No. All right, you ready? All right, hold on. I got to shut down the webcam and change it to Zoom. Hold on. Oh. Yay, Tanya. The fuck is a webcam? All right. Zoom. Here we go. All right. I'm just waiting for Tanya. Oh, you know what? I forgot to turn on Zoom. Hey, Ben. I'm just waiting for Tanya. She kept her entire pregnancy, and after 9 months of hiding, she wasn't planning on saying, hey, everyone, I just had a baby. What's up, girlfriend? You got to make sure your sound is on. You may not have hit your sound. You don't have your sound on. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Yo. Yo. You're not you got to enter with your sound. You're not entering with sound. There you go. Finally.
Can you hear me now?
Now I got you.
I was having fits over here.
I know. It's once you get used to it the first time. So
What's that?
this is Tanya. Tanya is
Hey.
an old friend of mine from Making a Murderer. She
Oh, hey.
also helped get Adam Brezel out of jail after a long case and lots of work. And she's an amazing woman, and she makes the best fucking Christmas cookies you're ever gonna taste. So that's Tanya.
Speaking of Making a Murderer, Anjanette Levy, she was the female reporter, the pretty one.
Yeah.
She's on this case also. She's out of Cincinnati now.
Oh, really?
So she's on this case. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yep. Yeah, she's awesome. She's
All right.
really, she's got the right questions to ask. She's good.
All right. So this is in your backyard.
Oh, yeah. I know this one.
All right. So I have a couple of questions then.
Yep.
Everyone's telling me that I'm wrong.
Well, I hope it's not the 5-year one because I don't know the answer to that. About it being 5 years. I've not heard that. I don't know what the max sentence is. But it's got to be more than 5 years.
But all right, but do you think she's innocent or guilty?
I think she's not guilty.
All right, so we're in
Of
agreement.
murder. They definitely did not prove murder. The prosecution, they can't prove murder. They can't prove she murdered the baby. They can't say how the baby died. They don't know how the baby died.
Okay.
There's no experts can say how the baby died.
I agree with that.
Yes. So all they can,
All right.
Basically.
Hey, Hockey Mom.
Her confession, which was horrible, but.
So just if you guys are wondering why I put my camera over the picture, because if you have Streamlabs open, you can't use a picture on Zoom. So that's why I did it like this. So that's why I just kind of put it over. All right.
I can't see any of the chat. Is there something I can push where I can see the chat or no?
Maybe
I don't want to. Maybe I can't do two things.
I don't think so. I don't know. I've never really used Zoom from my cell. I always did it from a computer.
Okay.
But you should be able to if you just.
I can put it on my phone and then just turn the sound down.
Okay. So now, what do you think about the burying thing?
The what?
The burying. Like, people are saying that she buried her baby, which should get her some time.
Okay, that's the abuse of corpse thing. And in Ohio, there's two separate charges on abuse of corpse.
Okay.
And I'm not sure which one. I don't even know what her charges are, to tell you the truth, because that's really unimportant to me, except for the abuse of corpse, because that's one thing that I thought, they maybe could get her for that.
Okay.
But there's two separate charges, and one of them it has to be so bad that nearly everybody would say, yeah, that's bad. You can't do that to a corpse.
Okay.
If you took a body and you propped it up in your front yard for a Halloween decoration, that's abuse of corpse in the severe degree. Because pretty much everybody would say, yeah, that's not good.
Okay.
But then the lighter one is called a familial, like a smaller group of people would have to say, yeah, that's pretty messed up.
Okay.
And a lot of people will say that burying a baby in your backyard is kind of messed up. But from Skylar's point of view, when she was, I tend to sympathize with her because I know of her history, her psychological history, because the testimony on that today was very, very powerful.
Because she's an idiot?
I watched the interviews, which were disgusting to me. They used read technique on her. And then now that she does have a long history of anorexia and bulimia. And that's a control thing. And that's what she was, she could control that because she didn't have control of anything else in her life.
She looks really bad now. Like,
she's pretty rough looking right now. Yeah.
She just looks miserable.
Yeah. Yeah, it's sad. But, in her mind, if she's telling the truth, if she delivered the baby, if the baby was stillborn, then in her mind, her freaking out, she had not told not one single person about this. So in her mind, she took the baby out back and she buried it. And she put flowers by the baby. And she buried the baby, where she could see her out the back window, her bedroom window. So in her mind, what she did was really not abuse of corpse. It was, she gave the baby the best burial that she could give her under the circumstances that she put herself in.
Okay. See, you're the first person I heard that from, that she did that.
Yeah.
So she gave the baby a proper burial according to what she thinks is a proper burial.
The best possible in her circumstances. She hadn't told anybody. So it's not like she could call up, she couldn't, in her mind, she couldn't call up 911 because she hadn't told anybody, about this. And, she was, I'm not saying that any of this is right. Obviously, we know it's not, but.
Thank you, Sweet Purple.
Her mind. You gotta think what's in her mind, not what's in our rational minds, but in her messed up mind, because she does have a personality disorder, and it's the control order. He talked about it in depth today. The psychologist today was extremely powerful, way more powerful than the false confession expert they had yesterday. I was really upset about that because they did like a 30-minute, he was on the stand for 30 minutes And to me, they should have spent a lot of time so that people, so that the jury was fully aware of how false confessions work. And they really didn't do that satisfactorily yesterday. But after this guy came in directly behind that expert, it was almost like the expert from yesterday on the false confession, it was like he was just laying the groundwork. And the guy today fully explained exactly how the read technique worked on Skylar and why it worked so perfectly.
She's an idiot.
Yeah, it was the interrogations were bad. I mean, once you know read technique and you know how it works, you can pick it up so easy. And it was just it was almost like it was scripted. It was so ridiculous. It was almost like a comedy skit, but it was for real.
So let me ask you a question, because when I first started looking at this case, once again, it seems like every fucking case out there that involves someone who's not 30, what is up with Ohio not allowing her to have an attorney or not forcing her to have an attorney? I'm now dealing with this in Alabama. We all dealt with it in Wisconsin. You dealt with it in Tennessee.
Right.
What is up with it?
Well, they told her, they read her rights. She even read them back to her. They did the read technique stuff. We're just here to get some answers. We want to help you. We're here for you. We want to do this with you and help you, and let's get through this. And but why didn't her parents make her have a lawyer? And even after, the first one, I can see them just kind of saying, okay, yeah, they're here to ask, they want to talk to you about something. Go ahead, talk to them. Just tell them the truth. That's what her parents told them. They didn't know what they wanted to talk about, obviously.
That's true.
They just said, tell the truth. And so she did tell the truth. So by then, after they knew that she did have a baby and did bury it in the backyard, they let her go into another interview with no lawyer. And then that's where they got her to say that the baby gurgled, but it was after they told her the baby gurgled, and that maybe she saw it move a little bit. So then she said, yeah, maybe she saw it move a little bit. And maybe it breathed, it gurgled a little bit. It had a little bit of a heartbeat, and it might have wiggled a little bit. And that was after they told her those things. And then she told them then that she stuffed the lighter to the baby's foot, and then it burst into flames up to the baby's chest, where then she used dirt to put the flames out.
Which was a total lie.
Yeah, that's not even possible to do. I mean, can you imagine? Wow. And that is what she said, and that is what they used for her confession. And that the investigator, I just wanted to just cut his throat. Mm-hmm. He like, yeah, that's reasonable.
Anna, she could be numb from anorexia, though. I don't remember crying much when I was anorexic either. The only time I cried, no matter what, the only time I really, really cried was when my dad told me I was going into rehab. That's pretty much the only time I cried. You become emotionless. And if she was really that fucked up mentally, it's very good possibility that's why she seemed emotionless.
Yeah, the psychologist today explained the outward not crying part, and her being happy on the outside, and the compartmentalizing those feelings and hiding them, and basically just pretending they're not there, which is what she did the whole pregnancy. Just pretend.
Pizza Kitty is right, and this is part of where I understand why some people think she's guilty. She never planned on having a baby. She had no diapers, no food, no clothes, nothing in preparation. So she knew she was going to get rid of it.
No. She only knew that she was pregnant for 11 days before she had the baby. When she went to the doctor the very first time, she went in to get birth control pills. Now, she suspected that she might be pregnant. but she didn't know. She'd had periods all along. And her periods weren't proper anyway because she was anorexic. So she didn't have proper periods anyway. So when she found out she was pregnant for sure at the doctor's there in, I think it was April 26th, he told her that she had 10 weeks, that she would be delivering the baby within 10 weeks. So in her mind, she had plenty of time, you know. So no, she did not, you're right though, she did not do in that 11 days, she did not do anything to prepare for having the baby. But I'm sure that, you know, if she would have ever found the courage to tell her mom that she was pregnant, she might have. You know, I don't know.
Okay, but then on the flip side,
Mm-hmm.
being that she was so young, do you think that in her 18-year-old mind, she did nothing wrong?
Oh, no, she knows she did something wrong.
Oh, she did. Okay.
Okay. People that saying that she's emotionless, they apparently didn't watch the interviews. I mean, she was falling.
Yeah, but I think she looks like fake. I think those interviews look fake.
Yeah, but that's just a conception that you got, you know, because she's the little, you know, the cheerleader, and she's preppy, and she's, you know, you think little snotty tutu, and her mom definitely was that.
She came across like an idiot to me, like just like phony, like playing the dumb blonde role, you know, like that's what I got out of it. That she was just playing the dumb blonde role.
Yeah, no. If you watch those, I've watched some the interview tape so many times. Just the body language, you can tell in her body language when she's lying and when she's telling the truth. And I can compare that to when they told her that the baby's bones were charred to get the confession that she set the baby on fire. When they told her that the baby's bones were charred, there was no faking that. She absolutely, you know, had no idea that. She was freaked out. She said, you know, no. She says, she said, I know that for certain. I did nothing with fire. There was nothing involving fire. So when you have that to base on, that, you know that that's absolute truth, because the baby did not get set on fire, and they told her it did, and she eventually admitted it. But when you look at her first reaction to when they said that, you can use that as a baseline for when she's absolutely telling the truth. So when you go back then and look at the beginning stuff, you get the same reaction every time they feed her something, you know, and she'll say, no. Okay. No, the baby was not breathing. The baby was not moving. She said like 23 times before they finally got her to say, barely whisper, well, maybe I heard it gurgle a little bit.
Okay, here's my question, though. The brother was across the hall. Yeah, we saw where their rooms were in the house.
Yeah.
The bathroom was pretty close to his room.
Closer to his room.
Her bedroom is pretty close to his room. I mean, it's not directly across the hall, but it's pretty close.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wouldn't he have heard a baby being born?
He would have if it was my baby.
I mean, that's the one thing I just don't get.
He was just a young boy. He was sleeping. I mean, you know. And she said that she said she did. They said, you know, did you think you woke anybody up? And she said no. And she had her dog was in the bedroom, and then, well, she said that when she was in the bathroom, she had locked the dog in the bedroom. But even her dog did not get upset during the whole process.
Okay.
So I agree. It's odd, but there again, you know, there's that girl. She's not told anybody. She knows if she makes a sound, somebody's gonna come in there and know, and then she's in trouble. Then her mama's gonna, you know, her mom's already told her what would happen to her if she got pregnant, that her whole entire life would be destroyed and ruined. So
Yeah, but what parent doesn't tell their kid that? I tell my kids that.
Well, yeah, I know it, but you don't tell it to them every day, and you don't
No.
encourage. And now this has not come out in trial, but it did show pictures of the mom, through various times through the years, and her weight was up and down too. Okay. So I'm going to guess that her mom also is anorexic, and because her mom gave her and told her how to use the diet pills and the laxatives. So her mom was, encouraging her to do this to lose weight.
See, what I don't understand though, what I really don't understand is I had 3 C-sections. I had 2 C-sections. Mm-hmm. But I heard giving birth is no joke. And how she just popped out, not a sound made, I don't know. Yeah. It's just weird to me.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Now, I can understand her parents not hearing because they was downstairs. And, that would be, they wouldn't hear. But then, the brother, she was...
You would know, Hockey Mommy did it 6 times.
No, I only did it 3. Someone else did the other 3.
Someone here did it 6.
Or the other 4, yeah. But the brother being a 16-year-old sleeping, even if he heard his sister up in the bathroom, that wouldn't be uncommon. But how she managed to not scream and squall, I don't know. But there's some tough women out there. They get through their deliveries without screaming and squalling, but I didn't.
Okay, Susie Q, I can agree with that. That you don't think she planned on getting rid of it. You just don't think she had a plan. I can buy that.
Yeah, she didn't have a plan at all. She had no plan for nothing. She did not plan to get rid of it because even they gathered 23 electronics from the house, and not one of the electronics had any searches at all for how to get rid of a baby or anything like that or anything with abortion. And that was something else she confessed to, that they got her to confess to, was saying that maybe she looked up how to get rid of a baby. But they didn't find that search on any of the 23 devices. So even though she said she did, it really doesn't look like she did.
That's interesting, though. See, that's another point in her favor, is that she never looked anything up. So
she didn't look up anything. She didn't look up adoption. She didn't look up abortion. She didn't look up how to take care of a baby. Even when, she was describing the birth, then when they was asking her, what about the afterbirth, the placenta? She didn't even know what those words meant. And they asked her about cutting the cord. And she said she didn't cut the cord. And she says, I promise, I didn't cut the cord. She didn't know that was something that you should have done. The cord was detached. The cord had become, according to her. And I believe that because, like I said, based upon her reaction and how she acted. That the cord had become detached. And I think that's how,
See, that's one of the reasons that I lean towards innocent, is because I looked up last night that, like, what are the odds that a cord just snaps during childbirth? And it's so rare that's why I don't totally believe that. I believe that she really didn't cut a cord. But is there any way to check that, or it's been too long?
No, because there was none of that left. And she didn't even know it. When she had first talked to them, she told them that she thought the afterbirth came out the next day. But then then in the second interview, she said, no, it came out then also when the baby did. So I'm thinking then that, someone explained to her what the placenta and such was. So then she knew that it did came out, shortly after the baby.
I'm assuming she probably flushed it down the toilet.
Right. That's what I would say. Just went in the toilet, and yes. Yeah. But they're saying, though, that the reason that the baby died in utero was, I don't know, they've got these letters for it, but it's a growth, intrauterine growth restriction, they're calling it. The baby she didn't grow proper because Skylar didn't grow proper, she did. And then they talked all about the fundal height and all the length and all of that. And
did they estimate the size of the baby?
They said that the baby was a full-term baby, meaning that, she was between 38 and 42 weeks when she delivered.
Okay.
They didn't say that, that doesn't determine the size, but they said based upon the bone size and all, that she was probably about a 7-pound, just a normal sized baby. But I saw they showed pictures today of Skylar in a bikini 1 month before she delivered, and you could not tell she was pregnant.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think she looks pregnant.
Yeah, but now in the red prom dress that she wore 2 days before she delivered, I can see baby bump there. It was obvious to me, but it
could have been the dress too. It could have been the style of the dress that
it wouldn't. Oh, it was very tight. No, you could see baby bump. I could see baby bump.
I don't know. I didn't see it in the bikini.
Yeah. Oh, the bikini? Yeah, I don't know. And that was it was. There was no bump there. No, and then even the month later, then when she went to prom, seeing the bump, they did see the weight, but with her weight always going, she could fluctuate 30 pounds in just a few months' time, and she had continually for several years. It would fluctuate. She would go up and down 30 pounds in no time.
What did the boyfriend say?
They broke up. She broke up with him.
The boyfriend or the father of the kid?
Okay, the dad. She only was with she dated that boy for about 2 weeks. They had sex twice. Once was protected and once was unprotected. She was starting her senior year in high school, and she just broke up with him. That was just like a 2-week little brouhaha, whatever.
Okay.
And they broke up, and she never spoke to him after they broke up. He didn't know, she blocked him on everything. He testified to. She blocked him, and she said the same thing. She blocked him on everything that that was over, and until the cops come knocking at his door, he didn't know nothing.
Wow.
So, and then, but after then she got with that, after they, she dumped him, then she got with this new boyfriend, which was Brandon, and she liked him. And they was together through all this, and they also had a sexual relationship, and he didn't know she was pregnant. And I don't know.
So what do you think about the people that say that that she's guilty and she should fry?
I get really, I think that 90% of the people are saying that don't really know the case. They know the news headlines. And they also know, well, see, this was the thing when the bones were first taken, and the initial report, which was, very similar to the ma'am press conference, they got on the news and they said that, she hid the pregnancy, she delivered the baby, and then she burned the baby, because when the bones first went in, the first, I can't call it a doctor, but whoever, I don't know who it was supposed to have been a doctor, looked at it and said the bones appeared to be charred. So based upon that, that's when the detectives called her back in and, told her that she burned the baby, because that's what the doctor said. That's what the coroner or the pathologist, whoever it was that said it. It was a month later before that pathologist got back to the bones and said, whoa, back up. This is not, I did not, I made a mistake. These bones are not burnt.
So what do you think of the doctors coming up with 2 different reports? I mean, that's like night and day.
You said, but on
totally
what?
Night and
What
day.
About? Because the one, I heard somebody say that, someone say that the one doctor said that the baby died of
Violent
homicide. That's not true. That they did not testify to that.
So the prosecution didn't testify to that?
No.
Okay.
No. The baby, the skull had 4 tiny fractures on it. that they determined were caused after the baby was already dead. So whether it was in utero that those fractures happened, it could have happened when the baby was delivered into the toilet by bumping it, because it's going to shoot out there. So bumping on the toilet.
All right, people saying they did. That they did
what?
say that it was from violent. All right, it says Dr. Susan Allen, who performed the autopsy on Skylar Richardson's baby, ruled the cause of death of violent homicide was the witness through the morning of day 3 of Richardson's trial.
Yeah, well, I guess that's what the birth certificate, or the death certificate probably does say that, which is why they was able to charge her with the murder, because if it was undetermined, then they wouldn't be able to charge her with murder. So yeah, it probably does say that.
I've never seen a case.
But nobody's saying that they think that those skull fractures caused the death. They don't think that those, and that's the only thing that they have that would see anything violent. But then, they also said that because with the planter that she placed over the grave, because this was not a grave, this was a barely 3-inch hole. When they was cleaning it off, they was using just brushes, and when they first found it, you could see parts of the baby on top of the ground. So it wasn't no deep hole. It was a very, very, just a little dugout and then kind of dirt put over top of it.
Okay.
So it wasn't a big grave.
Hockey Mom, isn't she wonderful? And she makes the best Christmas cookies.
Yeah, I do cookies.
So a lot of people think the mom was involved. I don't. What do you think?
I got an opinion on Mom, and this is just only my opinion because it really can't. She didn't testify or anything, and I purposely did not, pay attention to the trial beforehand. Now there's all kinds of stuff out there, and I mean, people just, I'm gonna tell you, they hate this girl. It's like Casey Anthony. They want to string her up. But I think that a lot of this is though based on the initial press conferences wherever they told that, she burnt the baby, because there's still people that said she burnt the baby.
But do you think some of the hanging comes from people not knowing the justice system and not knowing?
Absolutely.
Because I think so too. Because I see that over and over.
Yes, and they don't know the case. They know what the news stories headlines are, and we know those ain't always right.
Yeah, I know.
And not even close to being right. And you can only base this off of the trial testimony. All the other gossip, all the other things that people know, that's not that doesn't come into play. This is based only on the trial testimony, and nobody could say how the baby died. So that's just like how Casey Anthony got off. They couldn't say how the baby died.
Linda, I do have a verdict. She's innocent. That's my verdict.
Yeah, I don't think she's innocent, but I think she's not. I think she's definitely not guilty.
Yeah, but if you think about it, she's guilty of burying a baby, but is it really illegal to bury your own child? Let's take out morals. Let's take out ethics. Is it illegal to bury your own child in your yard?
That's right. That's where I would want to put mine.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's illegal.
It goes back to that abusive corpse thing. And I think like I said, I think that's going to be even iffy if they convict on that. I think they probably will, just because, she needs something. I don't know what, I think that the jury will probably think she needs something. And that's about all. That might be all they can come up with. They already dismissed the tampering with evidence. The judge threw that out day before yesterday. Monday, the judge did,
hold on. Why is it illegal to bury your baby in your own backyard?
I don't, I'm not originally from Ohio, so I don't know Ohio laws on a lot of things. But I know in Illinois, the laws on that, and you can only bury a person in a cemetery.
Really?
Yeah. But different states are different, so.
I'm going to look.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, all the states are different too regarding vaults, whether or not you have to have a vault or a coffin casket. Like in Illinois, you have to have a casket and a vault. But some states you don't even have to have like a casket. You can go in a wooden box, and you don't have to have a vault.
In Ohio, a casket is necessary for burial or cremation. In Ohio, do I have to buy a casket from the funeral home? Where can bodies be buried in Ohio? Private land, you're allowed to scatter ashes on your own private property. If you want to scatter ashes on someone else's private land, it's wise to get permission. Public land, you may wish to check both city and state zoning. Federal land, officially you can request. So it's all about ashes, though. It doesn't say anything about burying. It says ashes. Oh, wait, here we go. Most bodies are buried in established cemeteries, but burial on private land in Ohio may be possible. Before conducting a home burial or establishing a family cemetery, check with the county or town clerk for any local zoning laws you must follow. If you bury a body on private land, you should draw a map of the property showing the burial ground and file it with the property deed, so the location will be clear for others in the future. So you can bury your own backyard.
Okay, well, yeah, but she didn't do any of that stuff.
But you said she had flowers. She knew exactly where it was.
Yeah, well, yeah, she did. But yeah, you said something about measuring and registering and doing all that. I think that's like, now thinking about a few back roads where I see houses and then these small cemeteries, like you can tell that are family plots on properties. So I think that's more in the line of that. But I don't know, maybe you just wanted to bury one person in their yard. I don't know.
Oh, no law requires a casket for burial. However, you should check with the cemetery. It may have rules concerning a certain type of container.
Mm-hmm.
So there really are no rules in Ohio about this body.
Well, right. So that's why they went with the tampering or the abuse of the corpse. So to me, that law was for something else. But, like, I don't know. For really egregious stuff, bad stuff that goes on in funeral homes and stuff like that to bodies. That was what that law was kind of designed for. Not for...
Yeah, because it says no person except as authorized by law shall treat a human corpse in a way that the person knows would outrage reasonable family sensibilities. No person except as authorized by law shall treat a human corpse in a way that would outrage community sensibilities. Whoever violates this section is guilty of a corpse. But, to be honest with you, you're burying your own child in your own yard.
Right. So see, the lesser charge, she might not even be guilty of, because there's a lot of people who could understand that, under the circumstances that she was in, that was the best possible outcome. She didn't throw the baby in a dumpster. She didn't, throw it in a garbage can. She gave the burial in her yard where she could see it from her bedroom window. She put a flower pot over it, which is something else that they think could have caused those skull fractures, when she put the flower pot over top of the grave, at the top of the grave.
How deep was the baby buried?
How much dirt? I'm going to say dirt on top of her, 2 inches.
Oh, so she didn't really dig deep.
No, it was not dug at all. When they first started taking pictures of the crime scene, or the burial site, you could see bones sticking up. That there were bones on the surface.
Good thing she didn't have a dog.
They did. They had 2.
Oh, really?
But they had a big backyard, and I would say that they don't let they didn't let the dogs out to run. I would say that in their neighborhood, when you take your dog out, you put it on a leash. Now I open my door and let my dog run, and he comes up with bones all the time. But I'd say that they probably leashed their dogs to take them out to use the bathroom and stuff, and they weren't off the leash into that backyard. That would be my guess. But there were some missing bones. So something did get part of them. The feet were missing.
Wow.
There was no feet bone, and then there was one lower leg bone missing. I think maybe a couple random ribs, maybe.
What do you
And
think?
a couple,
The dog got him, or
huh?
did the dog get him?
Don't know. I mean, there's no way to know.
That's
There's no
weird.
way. Yeah, right.
I bet the
So-
dog got him.
That's not even funny, but yeah, I mean, it would make sense. Or any kind of little rodent, a raccoon, a possum.
Yeah, if she didn't bury him deep, it could have.
No,
The
yeah,
bones
no.
was sticking out. A dog could have got him. Raccoon could have got him and just grabbed it.
Yeah, yeah.
Fur on the baby. What's that? Ziggy said, "I would love for someone to explain to me about the fur on the baby."
Fur?
What fur?
Yeah, I don't know about fur. No,
Hey, Lisa. It doesn't have
In
tiny
fact,
bones.
I
Make
see
up
somebody saying, why was the baby white? This is my opinion on the white, but I don't really know for sure. They asked her what color was the baby when it came out, and she said it was white, which would be typical, of a stillborn,
Yes.
ish grayish color. But I'm thinking now, I might be wrong. This might be racial. I don't know. But I'm thinking that she was saying that the baby was racially white because the boy, Trey, was black. So I think when they said what color was it, and she said white, I think she was referring to race. Nobody else has ever said that, but I had that feeling.
You really believe that?
Yeah, I think that's what she was answering at that moment. Yes. When they said what color was the baby. Yes. And she said white, because if they say, well, what color is the baby? If it's a mixed race, it's going to either be more darker skin or more lighter skinned.
Yeah, but it's very odd. Depending on how dark he is, maybe that was part of the parent. Yeah, I thought he was white.
No,
The
he's
baby's
black.
father's white.
The what? Baby daddy? No, he's black.
They're all
Well-
saying he's white.
Well, let me throw this one out here, okay? I'm saying he's black. They didn't show him. Want shown. They did show his hands though, and they seemed white to me. But I know that light-skinned black people, will have still more whiter hands.
But what makes
But-
you think he's black?
Okay, well, because this is a smaller community, there's not a lot of black people there. And when the investigators went to talk to the father, they was seeking one of the black boys in town of like 3 or 4. That's who they was going to talk to, was the black boys. So now, to me, I thought his hands was white. He looked white. I don't know.
You mean you thought his hands were black?
No. What it showed, what I saw, he looked to be white race. He was a white person. But you could only see his hands, on this when he was testifying. You could only see his hands. You couldn't see his face. You could only see his hands, and you didn't see a lot of his hands. You only got to see his hands once in a while.
Okay, but I'm confused. If you said his hands were white, why would you say he was black?
Because black people's hands are of lighter color. Their palms, the inside, their palms are lighter than the rest of their skin, their hands and their feet. I'm not black. Do we have any black people on here that can tell us what color your hands are?
Someone said they slipped and showed him he was white. They have shown full pictures of him. Trey is white.
There was one boy that they did show, and if that was Trey, I don't think it was Trey. I think that was Brandon that they showed. I'm pretty sure it was Brandon that they showed.
Wasn't he the only black boy in the school?
There's only a few.
Carol said he was
white.
black too.
Huh?
Carol said he was black too. I just saw someone else say he was black.
Okay. I'm pretty sure that it was Brandon that they showed, and he's white.
Brandon was the one in the prom pics.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen any pictures of Trey at all. But now I'm obviously going to go back again and watch his hands during his testimony. His testimony was very short. And I'll get on my group and ask them for sure about that too. Shelby, are you one? Can you get on that group? I don't even know what it is called. We can't go to bed. I'm using this computer. My husband's telling me he's going to bed, and I'm on the computer in the bedroom. I'll have to find out about the black. But I'm at this point, though, I'm gonna say that Trey is black.
Hey Jeff, what's up?
And his hand, and he was a light-skinned black person.
But why do you think he's black?
I don't know, because I don't know, because the cops went looking for one of the black boys to talk to him about it, and there was only like 3, and one of them was named Trey.
All right. I'll find out.
Yeah, I'm 99% he was black. Maybe not 99, maybe 90. Who else is on? I haven't been following on the reading, but who else is on that like really knows the case good?
She was on last night. She's not here tonight.
Oh, okay.
Um.
Oh, I see Pauline's comment. Yes, that maybe that's what somebody was talking about with the fur. But I don't even know how to say the word, but the fuzzy stuff that's on the baby, it does look white. Also, that's exactly right. So,
And what exactly is it doing?
Anyone know Trey's last name? Carol's saying Trey was black.
yeah, I see someone else. Pauline says Pauline says for sure. You know, she's saying loud. He's not black. Shall we? Yeah, find out if Trey's black. Skylar Richardson. No.
Oh, you know what I want to ask you, and then I'm going to close up. I'm so tired.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think she told the doctor what she did?
Yeah.
Because the doctor asked her, and she told the truth.
So anyone can.
I mean, she went. I don't know if you know how that played out. You know, she went to the doctor when she was 28 weeks pregnant to get birth control pills. They told her, you know, you're pregnant, you need to make a follow-up. And she didn't do it. She had the baby 11 days later. And then she went back after, you know, she had the baby and stuff. She was making another appointment to go get birth control. But they had tried to follow up with her. They knew that this was a problem. This girl needed to get back in. But she didn't make her follow-up appointments, and she didn't answer their phone calls when they was trying to get her to call her to get her back in.
No.
So then when she went back in to get her birth control pills, then after she had the baby,
There's nothing.
they said to her, you know, but she was red flagged because, you know, they was trying to contact her before. And then
More than likely.
they said, well, you know, the last time you was in here, you was pregnant. You know, what happened to the baby? And she just straight out told the doctor. She didn't, you know, she didn't try to lie. She didn't try to do anything. She said, I had the baby through the night by myself. The baby was dead, and I buried her in the backyard. And now can I please have my birth control pills?
Wow.
She just told her.
Yeah.
Straight out.
But if it is,
She didn't try to lie. She didn't nothing. I'm telling you, it's sad. It's
Okay.
really, really sad
There's a cell phone.
Sad mess.
With the emergency always.
I can't find anything on Trey.
And all we got to do is go down to the bottom of the shaft, emergency always.
Yeah, 32 weeks. I see. I said it wrong. It's not. It wasn't 38. It was 32.
Yeah, I can't find anything on Trey.
Yeah, worst case
Oh, okay. Maybe that's it, Pamela.
all on that.
It's a sky. Just put
But,
in Skylar
but they
Richardson.
also have radios. They
I
also
don't know how to
have,
use your phone. Go to
Well,
Facebook
no.
and put in
right?
Skylar Richardson and then pick the
If
group.
the police go up and has a cell phone, then that's all.
I'll find out today or tomorrow. I mean, I'll find out for sure tomorrow.
Right.
If he's
Every
back.
Trey Johnson I pulled up is black.
Yeah, I must say he probably don't have a social media these days because he just be bombarded with stuff.
I can't find
I
anything.
really don't think. There's been no indication that that him being black was the reason that she broke up with him or anything like that, or with her parents. So I don't really know that. I don't think that played into anything. You know, it may have. It could very possibly. I mean, it could have been that, but there was nothing testified.
They did have a Planned Parenthood because she wanted to go there. So they
Yeah,
definitely did have a Planned Parenthood.
Yeah, there's Planned Parenthood there. Yeah. She didn't want to go to it. What that was about was her, that goes back to the mom. And there is some kind of a secret between her and her mom and this baby. I don't think her mom knew that she had the baby and buried it and all that. But there is some kind of a secret because there was an email that was about Planned Parenthood. And she said, Kim, that's the mom, said to Skylar, you can go to Planned Parenthood if you choose to, but you have to pay out of pocket if you go there. And their surgeons aren't as good as ours is. And, you know, you'd be better off going here. And I know you don't want to, but this is what we have to do. You know, basically, this is what we have to do to secure your future. So personally, what I think on that is I think that the mom knew she was pregnant, or found out she was pregnant. I know she found out she was pregnant because the doctor's office inadvertently sent an email to the mom, and it said she was pregnant. But then, they said that Skylar lied about that and lied her way out of that, and there was a mistake. But what I think is I think that the mom knew she was pregnant. I think the mom helped her to get an abortion. Her mom thought that she was helping her to get an abortion at the Planned Parenthood or at the doctor's office, but Skylar didn't do it. And she didn't tell her mom that she didn't.
Yeah, but she couldn't get an abortion at 28 weeks.
No. But no, I don't think her mom knew how it was 32, but no, I don't think her mom knew how far along she was.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
You thought her mom thought maybe she was like 8 weeks pregnant.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
I gotcha. See, that makes sense, though. That makes perfect sense.
Right. It would explain the email and that was it. There was no other discussion. There was nothing. They did not discuss it on any kind of electronic. That's for sure. Because they did forensics on 23 different electronic devices. So they didn't have no conversations. She didn't have no conversations with nobody about it. Not on electronics, anyway.
Closing statements will be interesting.
Oh, I know it. I'm ready for it.
The judge has a weird neck.
The judge?
Yeah.
I think the judge has done real good. I typically don't like judges at all, but I think he did real good. I think he was fair. I think he did a good job.
So before I close out, what happened with Adam? You guys really got him out?
Adam's home. Yes, he is.
That's awesome.
Yes, we did. In fact, I'm making a trip to. I'm going to Tennessee on Monday. We have a.
Come visit me.
How was it? I know it's close. It's
It
close.
is
I'm going to
close.
Nashville. I'm going to Nashville.
That's
Doing
90
a big
minutes.
interview down there where we get to actually talk about Fear of the Hills and not just Adam, because even though the case is, was getting Adam out of prison, there's a whole nother big underbelly story of the illicit pill mill that's consumed that area, and which was the main reason that Adam was framed for that murder. So to hide that pill mill. So this interview that we're going to get to do next week talks about that and how the sheriff and the prosecutor, to lay out to the investigative reporter exactly how and when, and show exactly how they framed Adam. So
Wow. See,
yeah,
people don't realize the power of social media. Let me
it's
tell you
huge.
guys with the story.
Yeah.
So we all got together. We all met from Making a Murderer. That's how we all met. And Dave, this guy Dave, I forgot Dave's last name.
Sale.
What?
Sale.
Okay. He was Sale, that's right. He is a videographer, I guess you want to call it, director. He started with this case, this Adam Breslow case. When did he start? A couple of years ago, right? What?
It's Brazil, like it sounds
Brazil,
like
whatever. Adam Brazil.
You're not good with words.
But he started it before Making a Murderer, right?
Yeah, he was already on Adam's case
Okay.
when Making a Murderer came out. Yes.
So when Making a Murderer came out, Dave used everybody from Making a Murderer to get them involved in this Adam case. And Tanya was like his right-hand man. Well, not a man, but right-hand woman. And she really got enthralled in this case. And they got a lot of Making a Murderer people involved in this case. And they got him out. Like, with enough pressure and enough, finagling and doing the right thing. And they actually got an innocent person out. And this was all from social media of people coming together. I mean, that's like amazing.
Yeah, the first time that I went to Tennessee and actually met Dave, he'd only been there one other time, and it was just very, very briefly. But we went there and we drove. This just shows kind of how Dave's investigative skills are. We drove around down there in all these back roads, and now how the back roads are.
Oh yeah, they're pretty rough.
And he would tell me. He knew exactly where we were at and where to go based on Google Earth, or the Google, the Google car that drove around.
Yeah.
On that, he knew all those back roads, everything based on that.
Wow.
All of his investigative work was done not there. He was not there for a solid year and a half. He did everything before he even stepped foot in Grundy County. All of his work was done online, social media. It's extremely powerful.
Can Adam sue? Is he suing?
Adam had to take an Alfred plea.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah, he did.
Oh.
The state dropped all of the murder charges, and he pled to assault on the another person.
Wow.
But everybody knows how the Alfred pleas are.
But
everybody
he's out.
knows. Everybody. Well, I don't say everybody does. I say everybody that knows about wrongful convictions.
No.
Yes, people do the Alfred pleas. The only reason they do them is so they can get out of prison. It doesn't have anything to do with whether they're guilty of anything or not.
I agree.
Hey,
at least he's out.
Absolutely 100% innocent. But he does have the ability to be exonerated of the assault charge also through the governor, and that's what we're working on now, and through his lawyers, and I'm fairly confident that the lawyers, they're not going to pardon him. They're asking for a full exoneration, and I believe he'll get it. And they don't do that too often either, but I think he'll get it because it's just so obvious that Adam was framed. There is no question. I can lay that case out and show you exactly when the plan started, how it started, who it started with, and it's just so obvious. It just can't be denied.
Wow.
So now it's like, let's get this state's attorney and this sheriff prosecuted.
Yeah.
So, all right, when are we doing this again?
And when do you want to do it again?
I don't know.
Let's see what happens with the trial.
Okay. Chat with me tomorrow.
I will do. I'll talk to you later, hon.
All right. Talk to you
Bye.
later.
Thanks for coming out.
Yeah, thanks for having me. All right. Talk to you later.
Absolutely. Bye.
Bye.
All right, guys. I am going to shut down because I am exhausted. Like, I am so tired. I didn't even realize how tired I was until I'm here. He uses Google Earth, and it feels like we're right there. So I want to thank all you guys. I will be here tomorrow. I just went back and watched the Lorem email. All right. Any emails, Patreons, anything, I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm literally like ready to pass out. I realized before I literally had 20 minutes of sleep, like if that. So I am like really tired. So I am heading to bed. I love you guys. I will see you guys tomorrow. And toodles. But I'll see you guys tomorrow. Any emails I will check tomorrow, I promise. And that's it. So I'll see you guys later. Bye. And Sweet Lavender, thank you so much. Have a great night.